So a lot of people in self-improvement or just in general worry a lot about networking. They want to go and they want to meet people. They want to get new people who are better than them so maybe they can get a better job, maybe they can get rich, maybe someone will tell them something that they never knew before. And you know what? I think it has some value. I think it really does help you. But most people are doing it wrong. I think all people actually are doing it wrong. Firstly, you're not networking with the right people and you're not doing it for the right reasons. Let me explain what happened to me in middle school. So, my grandma usually visits from India, right? So, she's from India and my parents also came from there. So, they moved here a while back. And my grandma visits sometime, right? Because she's my grandma. And she first goes to Amsterdam and then she comes straight to me, like in Canada. We used to live there. And so she would go to Amsterdam and get a huge pack of candies. And she knows that one time when I visited Amsterdam, when I was seven-ish, there was this one candy. It was mango flavored and it was just amazing. I loved it every single time. I'd finish it in less than a week. I don't know how I didn't get cavities. But I would literally rob it from her purse. So she would hand it out. Oh, good job, Benit. You ate your food today. And then I'll just rob it from her purse. Sorry, Grandma. I didn't rob anything else, I swear. But this candy was just my absolute favorite. But the problem was, I would only get rewarded for this candy based on my grades. And my grades in middle school were just like they were not good. Like I was getting sometimes low 60s, maybe low 70s in math, right? And this is like 5th-ish grade, which there counts as middle school. And so these tests, right? It would always be math every single time. It was like we learned about different variables. It's like first time we learned about X and Y. I'm like, why are there letters in math? That was like my first thought. And we had a test like in 2 days. I'm like, I really want this candy because I can't keep on robbing it from her purse because she knows like I was robbing it from her. So, my friend took it 2 days before. And this guy's gifted, right? He's really smart. Let's call him Z. So Z was really gifted. And, I really wanted this candy like badly. So I told him like, bro, can you like share the answers? Like, I got the test in 2 days and you already took it and you probably know like some of the answers. You got the test. Like they give it back to him after a day of grading. And he's like, no, bro, like I'm not trying to get in trouble. Like, I'm good. I'm not sharing with you. I'm like, bro, please. Like, I'm trying to do good on this test. He didn't share it. So I was pissed. Like, I was pissed at this dude. But you know what? In one of my other classes, in French class, I actually did really good on a test. I think I got like a 95 or 97. I was really good at that. And I showed it to my grandma. I'm like, 97. She gave me 5 candies. She's like, good job, my son. Good job. I'm not my son. My grandson. Good job. And she gave me some candy. I think she gave me 5 pieces of candy, something like that. I was so happy, bro. Favorite candy. I devoured like 2 of them. And I thought about something. I went to school the next day with these candies. And I asked my friend again for the test. So this is 2 periods before the test starts. Math was 3rd period. And he was in my language class. It was 1st period. And I'm like, bro, I really, really need this test grade. Like my entire grade will go up because of this. And he's like, nah, bro. Like, no, I'm good. So I sat there. I'm like, all right, how can I convince him to give me the test grades? I would do anything for it. Because this guy was gifted. He probably got a perfect on the test. And I'm like, whoa, I got these candies. And so it kind of hit me. Why don't I just give him the candies? But I'm like, no, bro, like that's my favorite candy. So I told him, I'm like, all right, I got these candies imported from Amsterdam, literally from a different country. I didn't just tell him, I told a bunch of people. I got really popular because of that. But I told everyone, like, I had these amazing candies. And everybody came up to me, oh, give me this candy. Oh, I'm going to try it, bro. So, again, I had 3 left. And I gave one to one of my friends, like, bro, this tastes amazing. And so really everybody wanted it. Like people kept on breaking into pieces and trying to share it amongst each other, but I had a limited supply. So then I went to Z. I'm like, all right, bro, you want the candy too? He's like, yes, bro. Like, I really want to try this because mango's also his favorite, right? So I'm assuming. So I'm like, all right, I could give this to you if you give me the test answers. He's like, damn. All right. So I gave him both of the candies I had left for the test answers. And that was the day I learned that what I wanted was not as important as what I could get from others by giving it away. That is why I come here and share. And this is why I think relationships can change your entire life. Because just because of two candies, I was able to get this guy to give me test answers. And by the way, that test I did really good on. I just probably shouldn't have cheated, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So I showed him exclusivity, I gave him these candies, and he provided me value in return. That is the value of a relationship. And all throughout middle school, because of him, I was put into a scholars program. And he was already in it, right? It was called, I forgot what it's called, but it doesn't even matter. I was in the scholars program because of him. All my grades went up instantly the next semester. And from there on out, everything just kept on compounding over and over. I kept on giving him something. He would give me value. We started hanging out more. And I felt like I gained a lot of value from him. And he provided me with his knowledge, his thoughts. And I think that made me smarter overall. And this reminded me, this story came to me because of what happened in my physics class like 2 weeks ago. I took a test and not good. It's always the math classes, bro. I took a test and it was just not good. And I was sitting there, open up my Power School, which is where we keep our grades, and I just see Unit 4 test 53. I'm like 53, and so I'm just sitting there looking at a 53 like, it's not good, not good. My whole grade dropped by like 20 points. I'm like, ah. So I'm like, how can I fix this? I realized that ever since the semester started, which was about 2 or 3 months ago, I've been talking nearly every lunch with my teacher. I'd go up to him and be like, yo, have you heard about this new AI thing? It's pretty chill. So I'm like, yo, have you heard of this new AI thing? Where do you think it's heading? And he'd tell me, right? He used to be like an engineer or something. And so he'd tell me, he'd be like, oh, like this is where it's from, and I think this is where it's going. He told me about how he worked in material science, and that's what brought him to physics. Like he really wanted to quit his job to teach others. I thought, okay, that's really cool. I really got close with him. And so I went to him and I'm like, I got a 53 on this test, this Unit 4 test, and like, it's not looking too good. Like, I'm trying to get into a good college and it's just not wonderful. So I asked him if I could retest it. He's like, sure, but I have to follow the rules. I have to only average it. So I got what everyone else got, right? If we take the retest, whatever we got on that test averages with whatever we got on our normal test. So I'm like, could you make an exception this time? Because I really need this grade. Whatever I get on the retest, is it possible for me to keep that as my normal grade? And he thought about it. He said, yeah. Yeah, okay. Just don't tell anyone else. And now I'm here sharing it to the entire internet. Whoops. Well, that's fine. It's just semester's about to end. Give it a month. Hopefully it doesn't go viral or something. But yeah, this is just the value of relationships. Because I knew him, because I talked with him, because he really liked me, I was able to get my grade from a 53 to a 90. A 40-point jump. How crazy is that? And the reason I'm telling you this is because relationships from the start for me have always changed my life. Like, for example, how I got into working out was because my friend PJ, he showed me this YouTuber, and he's like, all right, yo, like, you want to try doing these workouts? Like, it's just like a 10-minute video, and we just watched this. His name was like Bully Juice. You still search it up, probably up there. And he's like, we can just do these during lunch. We had online school. And so we just hit it like 10 minutes, 15 minutes every day. And then because I got that habit, I got that accountability with him, it just became a habit. Ever since then, I haven't stopped working out. Ever. Relationships. And so, clearly relationships are really important. But I think there's two main types that you kind of really need. And that is the friend relationships. And I count friend as teacher, by the way, to other people. And love relationships. So love, like the one you feel. So I'm going to talk about friend first because I think this one is crucial for guys, right? This is both for guys, by the way. I don't know much about girls, but if you want a good friend as a relationship, right? So, for example, that could be me with you. That could be me with PJ, me with some other guy, right? You need to have common interests, hobbies, and work. Maybe like, oh, that's pretty selfish. Like, why would you do that? Well, think about it like this. Right now, what is your friend group? You go to school, and at lunch you sit with a group of people. What are they doing? Maybe you know one since like middle school. You like talk like 4 times. Maybe one guy gave you test answers. Maybe another one like, I don't know, he rubbed your hand and you thought he was cute. I don't know. Whatever you do. Well, if there was no school, would you guys still be talking? Genuine question. Because right now in high school, all I see at tables are people sitting around on their phones. They're all on TikTok. Someone sees a funny, say, "Oh, look, a funny TikTok." What if there was no TikTok? Would they still be your friend? You should only keep them around if they help you reach their goals. And if they help you reach their goals, make sure you double their help to help them reach their goals twice as faster. This is what I do every time. If someone provides me with, for example, I don't really keep count of this, but if someone provides me with like $5 worth of value, like, oh, like here's $5, like you need it today, like it's all right, you don't need to pay me back. I'll give them $10 worth of something. And of course, I'm not gonna like add that up 10, 20, 400, 4 million, right? It's obvious, but the idea is you're trying to give them double the value that they give you. And there's this reciprocity effect where they kind of feel like they owe it back to you, even though they don't really owe you anything. The point is, you need to get to a state where you give people value without thinking you'll get anything in return. That is the highest state you can reach within any friend relationship. If you can do that, you will be, I don't even know what to call you at that point. You're just the best person that anyone could have as a friend. I want to be your friend if you can do that. And a lot of people can't. Their ego gets in the way. Oh, he's not going to help me back. He's not going to give me anything. They probably won't. For the first few months, they will not. Because trust takes a while to build. I'll get to that in a second. I'll explain how trust works because I think it's vital for both relationships. And by both, I also mean love. So I'll get into love now. All these YouTubers, they be saying like, oh, be more masculine. The one trick to attract all women. Masculinity isn't the answer. There's no one trick to attract all women. I've seen all kinds of relationships from all around the world. I've seen ones where guys are shorter than girls. I've seen ones where the guy is super feminine. And this has lasted for literally 40, 50 plus years. I've seen ones where both are extremely masculine, extremely goal-oriented, and yet they've been together in a happy marriage for 50, 60, 70 years. Till death. So what makes it that these relationships work? It's not masculinity. Not at all. It's the traits that come with masculinity. People think that being feminine means you need to keep a liability. So when you think of feminine, right, a lot of people associate that with submissive, right? Submissive being like, oh, she'll listen to me, she'll do everything I say. And if you think like that, by the way, you need to fix your brain because that's really not how it is. Feminine is a state. It's a state of being. It's not something you should be attracted to, but rather something you're always balancing against. Think about being masculine, being feminine as a spectrum. You could be ultra super masculine on one side. I'm talking like literally Andrew Tate level, right? You probably shouldn't be reaching that side. And then super feminine. Super feminine would be like, who'd be super feminine? I don't even know. Think of like the fruity guys, right? Super fruity guys. Like they be making noises and stuff. Like you step on their toes, they're like crying, right? Like those kind of people. The things you see as a difference between the two is that people who are masculine genuinely or generally aren't as empathetic. They don't have too many feelings. They're not always so like feeling oriented. But as you shift down the spectrum, it becomes more about people, more about humans. How can I attract more with people? And in business, this is kind of a side tangent. I'll get back on track. In business, you need to balance these two. There's something called hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills usually associated with masculinity, soft skills with femininity. So soft skills would be like, oh, be empathetic, right? Think about other people's situations. Think about where they're coming from. Hard skills like, oh, use discipline, work harder, be more efficient, work them to the bone, like stuff like that, right? You have to balance those two within a business. And the idea is what you're trying to do in a love relationship is not focus on this solely, because I don't think that's the main goal. What you need to do is provide so much overwhelming evidence to the other person that they should stay, that when things get hard, the thought of leaving never crosses their mind. So what do I mean by that? Let's say we have two people, right? We have Jack and we have Benit. Now Jack is filthy rich, like crazy rich. Like he's like 40, he has investments everywhere, he owns like 400 homes, whatever, right? Good money. But Jack is also fat. Jack spends all his day inside. Jack has no friends. How about Benit? Benit is moderate income. Benit's earning maybe 100K, 150, which is a dream for a lot of people, really. But, let's call this moderate. He's pretty happy. He's a very exciting person. He makes a lot of funny jokes. He gets people to laugh all the time. He makes sure people are comfortable around him. And he's really fit. Works out 4 or 5 times a week. Has a six-pack. Who would you rather be with? Now, a lot of people think that girls just want the wealth. A lot of people think that girls, they only want money. The only reason you think that is because you haven't maximized the other skills. If you don't give them reasons to stay, there's no reason to stay at all. Now, what are reasons to stay? Reasons to stay could be being fit, being wealthy, being funny, being exciting, smart. You have the same goals and habits, and you improve them. Who would not want to be with that kind of person? Think of it as levels in a video game, right? There's the level of social skills, right? If you want to make your social skills higher. There's strength, right? Which is how fit you are. There's wealth, which is another thing. And then there's how funny you are. If you can level all those things up, there is so much evidence for them to stay with you that there's no reason to leave. Even if, for example, you go broke tomorrow, there's still 7 other reasons they'll stay with you. It's not about being masculine or being disciplined, because that's a short-term solution. If you want relationships that'll last, you can't maximize all of your wealth or all of your funniness or all of your fitness, right? It's not about balance either. It's about how far can you get it to make it so that they just can't think of leaving you. Because here's the truth. You will have hard times. Throughout your life, you will have hard times. It's guaranteed. I don't care how comfortable your life is. Something will happen to you. And when they do, when those hard times come, whether you're with your spouse or not, the emotions between each other will leave. Emotions don't matter when survival's at stake. Literally. Survival. If you have almost no money in the bank, what evidence is there for her to stay with you if that's the only thing you value? But if you're also hardworking and you've helped her get fit and you want to improve her and you both believe that you can get to the same spot together, and that's really important, having the same goals, she will stay with you through the hard times. And the reason I say this is because of what I heard from Alex Hormozi and Layla Hormozi, right? They've been together through the hardest of times. Alex Hormozi, he started off with a really good business. And, he was making a decent amount per month. And he told Layla on a date, he's like, if you quit your job, she was one of the top salesmen at, like, Lifetime Fitness, I don't know. He told her, if you quit your job and join me in running this, I think we can make it go really far. And so he did, right? He got him to do that. And so they both worked on this business, and they got really far. They had similar goals. They both worked hard. They were both fit. They were both just good people. And then the business did not do good. Started failing. The money went down. Then what? Is she just gonna leave? Will she just leave him because he has no money? No, she actually stayed. And that was Alex's life-turning moments. Because the month after that, he started making more money than he could ever imagine. If you can give evidence to the other person as to why they should stay, they will stay with you every time. Every time. So stop worrying about setting these self-imposed limits of masculine, feminine. Oh, I gotta be disciplined. I gotta control her, submissive. It's more about logically, how can they stay? What will keep them staying? That's it. It's literally like if you make YouTube videos, what keeps people watching? That's all that matters. Every time you get on a new date, every time you talk to new people, you figure out, oh, this part doesn't work. It's the same with videos, right? I'll tell you how videos work. You're making a video and maybe you tell like a piss joke, right? You make some stupid piss joke. People drop off their attention. So you can see when people leave the video. So if they're watching, and then like maybe 5% of people leave the video. You're like, oh, that was a horrible piss joke. Maybe don't tell a piss joke next time. So next time you don't tell the piss joke. Okay, they stay through that part. And then you tell some poop joke. 5% lost. Okay, I won't tell the poop joke this time. And you just keep on doing that over and over and over for different things. Oh, maybe I'm not fit. You know, I'm kind of fat. Maybe that's why she left. So let me work on that. Okay, new relationship. Oh, she stayed through. Oh, I'm broke. All right, maybe let me make a bit of money, right? Oh, okay, let me stay through. Oh, I'm not really exciting. She left. New relationship, right? This is how you learn every single time. It's just a reiterating process. You're constantly developing skills that will keep the other person with you every time. So a lot of people don't really have this problem of keeping them. Most of their problems comes from, how do I even find the right person? Because every guy wants a loyal woman. Every guy wants someone who will stay with them through the rough times, who wants someone who will trust them, who can believe in them. I think genuinely that's what people want. Even though they can say, oh, are you this kind of guy, or you a boobs kind of guy, or like, even though people say that, in the end, what you really want is someone who will believe in you, someone who will stay with you through the hard times, no matter how much money you have, no matter what kind of person you are. Actually, it does matter what kind of person you are. Don't be an idiot. Most people can figure out if that woman is for them. What do I mean by this? A lot of us are deceived by looks. That's why this culture of like, oh, you tits kind of guy, or you ass kind of guy, right? That's really common. That's what a lot of people judge on. And it's kind of taken over their rational and irrational brain. That's your irrational brain thinking, oh, this person is probably fertile, right? Maybe I can mate with them. Maybe I can make good children. That's all your irrational brain thinks about. But the rational side, somewhere deep in there, and a lot of guys have this feeling, you know she is not loyal. You know what kind of person she is. You know she's not the person who will stay with you through the hard times. But they still ignore it. Because you're an ass kind of guy, and she's got a big ass. And now she left you. Where's the ass? No ass for you. Let me give you an example, because a lot of people don't believe they're able to figure out if someone's for them. Imagine a woman standing right in front of you, right? What did you imagine right there? That's your perfect girl. Now let me tell you, this perfect girl that you're thinking of right now has green hair. Oh, you felt something in there. Something in your mind told you, no, that's not right. Oh, then you see a tattoo on her left neck, right below her ear. It's a little infinity symbol. And you see another tattoo right on her wrist. It's a butterfly. Is this the one for you? Automatically, you would know it's not. And maybe you're into that. I don't know. Maybe you're into that. But for a lot of people, they're able to tell, this person has been with other guys. This person will not be loyal. We don't know what it is. It could be an unconscious bias, but you just know. You can tell by the way someone talks, someone acts, that they're not the right person. And right away when you feel that, leave. Because here's one of the things that I've pulled from Naval Ravikant. If you would not spend if you would not spend life with them, don't spend a day with them. Seriously. And for me, I've taken this even farther. If you wouldn't spend life with them, don't spend a minute with them. Sometimes I walk into the sauna, I see some dudes just talking about like their third girlfriends. I'm like, oh yeah, like, I gotta leave. I really don't want to talk. Most of the time I go in there, I don't even talk. I'll explain why. Now, this takes me to the idea of one of the biggest decisions you make in your life is who you spend time with, the spouse. It's not even your friends sometimes. Your spouse will be with you for most of your life. And you only choose to marry them after 6 months of dating, maybe a year or two. You need to take a while to know if she's the one. Most people you can reject, 90% you can reject right off the spot. But for a lot of them, you'll kind of be iffy. You'll be like, oh, I think she's nice from what she's showing me. Let's try it out. Go at it. You can't go on 10, 20, 30 dates and be like, oh yeah, I found the perfect one on my 24th date. No, you're going to have to go on literally dozens. Like, I'm talking, plan out, if you're looking for like a spouse, plan out a period of time where you just date. This is what Tim Ferriss did. This is what Alex Hormozy did. This is what Layla Hormozy did, right? That's how they found each other. And it's just so many people have tried this out. They went on hundreds of dates, literally. Tim Ferriss too. He had he Tim Ferrissed his own thing. He did the 4 hour girl week, the 4 hour wife. I don't know. He scheduled like 10, 11, 12 dates in a day, each about 20 minutes long. And he did that for a period of 3 to 4 months. And he found a girlfriend that lasted with him for like, I think it was like 5 years. I don't know what happened, right? Something like that. I don't know about Tim Ferriss's love life, but you need to do a lot of quantity. This will take time. And every time you talk to new people, you gain skills. Remember what I showed you? The retention graph. Piss joke. Poop joke. Same thing. Oh, she doesn't like this joke. Oh, maybe I should be a little more exciting. Right? You keep on going over and over and over until you learn this is what girls like. Then you'll never need to worry about attracting them. Now you have the choice. You're able to pick who's who, who's what. How can you get with them? Who's the right person? Now, I told you what you need to get into these love relationships. I spent the majority of the video talking about this. And also a bit about friends, right? Just common interests, common hobbies, and work on the same thing, same goals. But what is something that works with all three relationships? Right? I think there's three things to this. The first one is to never, ever compromise on honesty and truth. Ever. Like, seriously. And it's going to be hard to tell. I lost trust with one of the closest people in my life, which is my mom. And that's because in 10th grade, something like that, me and this girl met, and she thought I was attractive and she really wanted to get with me, so we did. And my mom didn't know this, right? She's heavily against like relationships and all that. And so I'll tell my mom after like maybe a month of dating her, like, oh yeah, like I'm going to go see my friends. She's like, okay, like have fun. And instead I'll go meet this girl. And I did that a lot. Because previously I've almost never lied to my mom. This is when I started, when that rebellious side of myself came to me. And ever since I started that, both of our parents figured out, because her parents like didn't want her to be doing that with me, and it's the same vice versa. My mom's more strict, and our parents talked, and they're like, this is what's going on. Your son's coming to meet my daughter, all that, right? And in the end, my mom asked me, she's like, were you really going out with your friends, or were you going to go meet her? And I didn't know that she had talked to her parents, and I said no, I was going with my friends. That was the day I lost all the trust in my mom, and it still hurts me to this day. And every time I go out, she asks me, where are you going? I say, oh, with my friend. Like, I'm genuinely going with my friends. She's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. I can tell she has this reluctance. I haven't been able to go to many parties, to many events, to many places, because she doesn't trust me. And I think it's important to not lose trust with your parents, especially. So yeah, trust is really important. So yeah, that's something you never compromise, whether with your friends or with a partner, like a love relationship. Because if you do, you will almost never gain it back. It takes literally months, even years, to gain trust, and you can lose it with one lie. One little event that you lied about could change their mindset forever. And the more you lie, the more you do it, the more it reinforces in their brain that, oh, he's not a trustworthy person. And I realized this recently when a lot of stuff popped up, personal life. Uh, People are more manipulative than you think. You just kind of know when someone's a liar. You can tell when someone's lying. A lot of people aren't good at it. And I don't have trust in anyone except for maybe like one or two people. Three people, sorry. So never compromise on honesty. That's become one of my core values now because of that. Yeah. And it's not just that. There's also compliments, which is the second thing. Compliments will build relationships every time. Whether it's a love relationship or it's a friend relationship. And the best way to give a compliment to someone is to not give it at all. Now, what do I mean? Am I like stupid? Like, what do you mean? Don't give it at all. Let me explain. I was in the sauna once with one of my friends. Well, two guys. Uh, one guy's name was Michael and one guy's name was Paul. And so we're all sitting around in the sauna having a nice little discussion, right? And I'd previously never met any of these people, or at least I met them two or three times. Not much. We really weren't close. And I was sitting there, and Paul's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go take a break. I'm gonna go grab some water." So the water fountain is right outside the sauna. So he opens the door and he closes it just slightly. There's a little hole left, but I was so indulged in the conversation with Michael that I didn't realize that it wasn't fully closed. And Paul, just before that, was talking about something, some history stuff, right? He's really smart. He's read a lot of books. And there was like this silence right after he left. And I told Michael, I'm like, man, Paul knows so much. That's the wisest guy I've met in a while. And I'll keep in mind, I wasn't saying this to Paul. Paul was not in the sauna room. He left. But what I didn't know is that because the door was open, he heard it too. Paul heard the compliment. Paul came back through the door after refilling his water bottle. Me and Michael it was just silent. Michael said, yeah, like he's really inspired me to change my life. Paul came back and he said, man, Benit, I've never heard that from anyone my entire life behind my back. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you just called me wise. Thank you for that. He was genuinely appreciative. I'm like, oh yeah. I didn't mean to tell it to him at all. I didn't know the door was open. And yet the compliment got to him. And now he trusts me more than anything. Compliments will build any part of a relationship, and you're not supposed to do it purposefully. If you're thinking about your compliments, oh, what should I compliment her on? You're not doing it right. When Dale Carnegie said, genuinely compliment others, he never meant, oh, what do you actually like? He meant, say it in a way that you would go to their friends and say it to them as well. Not some stupid glib comment, be like, oh, your shoes are nice. Oh, nice shirt, right? Anybody can say that. What is something personal about them that you would tell to their friends? And don't tell it straight to them ever. Ever. Unless you genuinely think it's true. Don't tell it to them because it's clearly forced. Everyone can figure out if it's forced. Don't tell them about it. Tell their friends and it'll reach them somehow. Usually out of accidents, usually not. But this builds trust behind their back. And again, trust, honesty, real compliments. A lot of people can't do this because their egos are too big, like mine was. I'd always used to make fun of people behind their back, and even sometimes now I do. But I think it's not worth doing because one way or another, the truth always comes out about everything. So you got to be careful about what you say about people behind their backs. And the third thing that's really important is that time spent with that person does not matter. You could spend hours on end with anyone, and they would still not be your friend. Remember what I said at the start about you sit around with your friends on TikTok, right? You're showing them, oh, funny TikTok. Look, she just farted. That's those are not real friends. What matters is quality time. So when I said if the TikTok leaves, right? If TikTok wasn't there, would you guys still be friends? It's the same with working out. It's the same with self improvement. It's the same with some club you run at school. It's the same with work, jobs, career, anything. If that thing still existed between you two, would you still be talking? And for a lot of people, this answer is no. Your hobbies might be different. You might say, "Oh, but it's a positive habit, right? Maybe it'll help me." The truth is that a lot of the friends you're with are for reasons. Either they're trying to use you for something, you're trying to use them for something, and that's all right. It's supposed to be like that. There's no such thing as a true friendship. You're always trying to get something from someone else. Always, every time. There's only 1% of people, and this is a very, very, very small percentage of people that genuinely stick with the other person for them. You should be hanging with others for each other's mutual benefit, but you have to make sure that time spent is worth it. Hang for a reason that's not external, but rather internal for mutual benefit. If they help you with your goals, you help them with them, right? They might know something about X, which you don't know, and you might know something about Y that they don't. For example, someone might tell you, oh, here's how I built muscle really fast. Here's your diet plan. Here's all that. I'll help you out. I'll help you set up your workout regime. And you're like, oh, I know Bill Gates, right? You want to go into computer science? Like, I can get you into computer science. Here's Bill Gates' number. That's how you help people out. That's how you build friends, connections. Real connections. And I'll tell you why I think connections are not important at all. I know people who try to be social for the sake of being social. I was like this once. I'd go into the sauna or go in any public space, say hi to everyone, right? Seem like the social person. Oh, hey man, how you doing? Yo, what's up, Paul? What's up, Jake? What's up, Michael? Right? Whoever's there. I just know all their names. I know something about them. And that makes me seem like a really interesting person. Oh, he knows everyone, right? That's really cool. I think in the end, these amount to shallow relationships. Are you going to be talking to them 50 years from now? Most people can't think on this time scale. They really can't. And that's because when I say 50 years from now, that means none of your friends. None of them. Every so often, yes, I have a discussion with some of them. Oh, this guy's interesting, right? This guy might offer me something valuable. Will he still be around with you 50 years from now? Not even 50, 10. It's better to learn everything about 2 or 3 people than know the names of 400. Every single time. Compounding relationships will help you in every part of life. Instead of compounding names, compound 2 or 3 people. Learn about their hobbies, their habits, their goals. Help them reach those goals. Provide more value to them. If you have only 2 or 3 people you're talking to, maybe even less, preferably, you are able to provide so much more value to them because you can spend more quality time with them. Not quantity, quality. Give them something they actually want. Even though relationships matter, even though I've told you everything about friends and love and all this stuff, right? I can tell you right now, life is going to be a single player game. It will always be your own experiences you care about. It's always you dying alone. In any scenario, you will not die with your spouse. You will not die with your friends. You will not die with the people you met in the sauna. Although you will end up in the same place under the ground or burned, whatever your ritual is, you will die alone. Your interpretations are alone. You are an actor in everyone else's movie, but that's good. You have your own movie. If you want to get someone else's attention, make their movie a little bit better. Add a few plot twists. Add a few good scenes. Get better hooks. Make them feel like you're important and make yourself the main character of their life. You can make someone else's movie better. So go out and do it.